Hello, and welcome to the Irresistible Marketing Pod, the podcast that wants to empower you with the tools to validate yourself right out of imposter syndrome. I'm your host, Isa Gauchi, your marketing confidence cheerleader and owner of the Isa Messaging digital marketing agency for small business baddies such as yourself. Today, we're going to talk about communicating the value of your work in your marketing, which is something that I get asked about a lot. But still, I was kind of surprised when the squad, which is my group coaching program, voted for how to explain value as the topic for our May 2024 marketing masterclass. Because, well, we've already covered this topic in the squad a lot. We have talked about how to help aligned customers imagine a better future. We've talked about how to use messaging to take them to the furthest edge of what they scarcely dare hope for. We've talked about how to ethically set expectations. We've talked about why effective messaging focuses on the client rather than simply describing ourselves and what we do. Looking back through these topics and even a bunch of the episodes I've already recorded for this podcast, it hit me. That was it. We had talked a lot about talking about the value of our work. What we hadn't covered as deeply, walking that talk, which is important. So if you feel like you are struggling to get customers or potential clients to see the value of your work, my first question for you is, are you treating your work like it's valuable? Now you might respond to me by asking, how, pray tell, does one treat their work like it's valuable? And when I asked the squad this question in our masterclass, a few ventured pretty good guesses, but no one knew the real answer, or what I see as the real answer. Boundaries. It's boundaries. To treat our work like it's valuable, we have to treat it like it's worth protecting. Like it is important enough for us to get what we need to keep offering and delivering it well. This requires boundaries with others, like asking for a monetary exchange that doesn't leave us resentful or harmed to provide the work, not marketing or selling to bad fit clients, telling clients when something is out of scope and either declining to take on the extra burden or asking for fair additional compensation, and communicating when something is no longer working. But importantly, walking the talk of treating our work like it's valuable also requires boundaries with ourselves, like building systems into our businesses that prevent us from overworking, adopting personal habits to prevent us from overworking as well, like deciding not to respond to requests for at least 24 hours so we have time to really consider whether we want to or not. This is something I have to do because I am a recovering people pleaser, and I recommend it to all of my clients who are tempted to just say yes without thinking and then really wish they hadn't when they're overworked and underpaid. So feel free to steal that one. Other boundaries with ourselves that help us to walk the talk that our work is valuable and we are treating it as such is saying no thank you or yes for an additional fee for client requests that go out of scope. Boundaries with ourselves also include taking accountability for validating and resourcing ourselves so that we're not placing non-consensual emotional labor on clients to make us feel good enough, safe enough, or secure enough. Boundaries with ourselves that treat our work like it's valuable also requires us to know what we need financially to meet our needs and wants and to plan our offers accordingly. And ditto for our emotional and physical needs, like not arranging our businesses so we need more customers than we have capacity to serve to meet our financial needs, how much rest we need to feel nice and resourced, or not taking on no-goes that are misaligned with your values or drain you too much. So all of that is basically to say that to treat our own work like it's valuable, we have to treat ourselves like we're valuable. This is the most important aspect of walking the talk. After all, our work does not exist without us. So if our work is valuable, then so are we. And if we're valuable, that means we deserve to have our financial, emotional, and physical needs met. We deserve to get paid, period. We deserve the conditions that allow us to deliver our work without hurting ourselves. And we deserve sustainable businesses that don't drain us. We deserve boundaries that protect our ability to deliver our work at our highest capacity, which means our time off is protected, our rest is protected, our mental health and well-being is protected, our fun times are protected. And we deserve rest, pleasure, and ease. This is foundational. You can get great at tactics, you can weave a compelling story, but until you walk the talk of treating your own work and yourself like you're valuable, your messaging won't ring true. Like all those micro expressions that we can read on each other's are not going to match up to what you're saying. So, if you could use some help talking a good talk about the value of your work and walking that talk, I'd love to support you as your own one-on-one marketing confidence cheerleader and or have you in my squad of fellow excellently eccentric entrepreneurs in the midst of changing the world. It's called The Squad. Links for both of those ways to work with me are in the show notes. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed the show, please drop me 5 stars and share this podcast with all your entrepreneur friends.